In this week's episode, I'm sharing 10 of the benefits of summer camp experiences for kids. This podcast episode is the audio version of my Facebook Live video, Why Do Parents Send Their Kids to Summer Camp? Hello and welcome to the Sunshine Parenting Podcast, where each week we talk about ideas for raising kids who become thriving adults. I'm your host, Audrey Monkey. I'm a summer camp director, writer, and speaker, and I've had the privilege of working with thousands of children, teenagers, young adult counselors, and parents over the past 3 decades. My husband, Steve, and I are raising 5 kids who currently range in age from 15 to 25. So my interest in raising kind, optimistic, self-reliant kids who become thriving adults is personal as well as professional. Hello and welcome to my first in my series of Ask Me Anything About Summer Camp series. So I'm in the middle of an interview series with camp directors called my Happy Campers interview series. And I have been talking to some amazing camp owners and directors about their programs and specifically about how they really are intentional about the skills that they're building in their campers, the social and emotional skills, the character traits they focus on. And I realized that I need to talk to another group of people because there are so many people out there who never experienced summer camp themselves and really don't understand why on earth parents would ever send their kids away from them during the summer for a week or 2 or more to a summer camp. So I've decided to do this series. I'll be doing a weekly Ask Me Anything About Summer Camp topic on some of the topics that I hear about a lot from parents and that I've talked to parents a lot about over the past 34 years. My name is Audrey Monkey, and I'm a summer camp director and also a parent educator. And I've been writing and speaking about parenting and summer camp and general well-being and happiness for many years. And I've been really focused this month on talking with other camp directors about their programs and what their amazing things that they're doing at their camps. So for today's Facebook Live, my topic is, why do parents send their kids to summer camp? And this topic is applicable both for those of you who are parents who do send your kids to summer camp, but need to answer to people who can't believe you allow your 7, 8, or 9-year-old to go away for a week or 2. It's also for people who haven't experienced camp yourself or a quality camp program and really don't understand why people would send their kids to camp. So I could talk about many reasons. And of course, I'm a huge proponent of summer camp because I'm very immersed in it. And I know a lot about the outcomes that happen at summer camp. But I'm just going to share 10 today, 10 quick tips or 10 quick ideas about some of the benefits of summer camp and why parents decide to send their kids to summer camp. So the very first reason that parents, maybe they don't send them the first time, but they repeat and send them in future summers, is because summer camp actually makes kids feel happier. And, I had believed this anecdotally for many years, having experienced it myself as a camper and a counselor, and having seen in so many kids and having them report to me that camp was their happy place and they just feel so much better at camp. But I actually ended up going back to get my master's degree and do research on it to find out, was it really true? And I did research. I had 7 different camps participating in my research. And I asked the question on a post-camp survey. I asked both the campers and the parents if they felt any change in their happiness level. So whether it was if they were less happy because of camp, no change, a little happier, or a lot happier. And the outcome was really compelling. Over 80% of the campers said they felt either a little or a lot happier because of their time at camp. So kids really are They're feeling happier at camp for many different reasons that it's hard to pick out the specific variables, but there are many things about camp that lead to well-being. Just being outside is a really important one, and all the fun social interaction is also really, really an important aspect of it. But just being happier is one of the main benefits for kids of camp. And a quote from a camper is, "Camp makes me happy, and nothing can prepare me for life as well as this environment." So another reason number two, that many parents decide to send their kids to summer camp and keep sending them for many years, is that camp is a place that many kids and young adults or teenagers really discover their best self. For many kids, it's a chance where they really get more in touch with who they really are. They have more time to reflect and spend time off screen, outside with other people, where there's just this really great feeling of acceptance and belonging and community. And in that setting, kids really flourish and have a chance to just be themselves. One of the campers' quote that I have is, "Being at camp gives me this sense of belonging that I've never felt anywhere else." So a lot of things that kind of in their outside lives, they are trying to do to be cool or accepted, really just kind of slip away at camp, where there's less emphasis on what you're wearing, or, there's no social media to compare likes and that kind of thing. And many kids discover new activities, new things that they'd never tried before that they enjoy. And a lot of kids make decisions about how they want to spend their time or new things that they want to do after they get home. So it's really that discovering kind of their best self that happens for many kids and can be really transformational. A third reason many parents send their kids to summer camp is because camp is a really great place for kids to grow their grit. As we know from all the research and recent books, in order for kids to gain some grit and perseverance, they really need to be challenged and they need to get outside of their normal comfort zone. And that's hard to do when you're with your parents. First of all, as parents, it's really hard to let our kids get outside their comfort zone because it's uncomfortable for us as well. But when kids are at camp, they really push themselves and try things that they might not normally try. So it's really great to see how kids grow, and they gain so much confidence from that whole process of trying new things and pushing themselves to do things that they haven't done before. And it really does grow their grit. The fourth benefit of camp is it's a really great opportunity for kids to meet some very positive role models in that age group that's still really cool for them. As parents, we are no longer cool. We are out of it as far as our kids are concerned in terms of knowing what's important or what's cool. But when you meet these outdoorsy, really outstanding college students who work as summer camp counselors, they really provide great examples for the kids. They take time to get to know the kids and really relate to them. And they provide a different kind of counter example to the cultural norm that our kids are seeing. And I think that's really important for kids to be exposed to these young adults who really are different from what you see in the media and what kids maybe are thinking that they're supposed to be like. One of the quotes that I have from a camper on this topic is, "Camp has made me into a leader, having the best role models as my counselors to look up to." So I think that the counselors really like to discuss topics that are important to the kids, and they have a perspective that is really relatable for the campers because they really can relate because they were only there a few years before the kids. So they still remember what it's like to be in high school right now, to be in junior high, and they can really talk to the kids and be great role models for them. Number 5, a really great benefit of camp is that kids develop better communication skills. As we know, there's been lots of research about how this generation of kids, all the kids born basically after 1995, have never known a time without a screen nearby, either with their parents or on their own. And the basic communication skills that kids learn at camp are really important. They spend so much time in face-to-face communication with other kids and playing games and learning to listen and being part of discussions that are led by the counselors. And it's really a great opportunity for kids to build their discussion skills and communication skills. The sixth reason that many parents send their kids to camp is that it's a great way for kids to develop their independence. So one of the things Michael Thompson in his book, Homesick and Happy, he talks about how there are some things that our kids just really can't do with us there. And one of them is developing their independence. When we're there with them, kids just automatically will turn to look at us and will seek our guidance, and they're less likely to make decisions on their own and make choices and do things on their own. So being at camp is a really great opportunity in a safe setting where kids, they have supervision and they have guidance from counselors, but they really feel this sense of independence from parents that is really empowering to them. They realize that they can do things and they can be successful without their mom or dad right there. And that's really a great feeling for kids. So I have a quote from a camper about this as well. Going to camp has made me even more independent and a much better people person. I am able to go confidently up to someone and introduce myself or hang out with someone new because of my time at camp. I've also heard from many past campers that their time at camp as a young child growing up was really helpful to them in the adjustment to going to college. If you're going away to college, maybe too far away in your same state or out of state to another place, it's really important that you've had some previous experience being away from home. It's a huge adjustment going to college, even for kids who have been to summer camp or have had other experiences away from home. But feeling confident that they've been okay for a few weeks away from their parents every summer is really a great confidence booster and really helps with kids feeling better about that independence when they have to take other big steps like going to college or going into the military or other things that take them far from home. Point number 7, or benefit number 7 of summer camp, is it's just such an amazing place for kids to experience just outdoor fun and adventure that is reminiscent of the times in past decades or past generations where we played outside so much more. We had so much time playing with our friends alone without adult supervision, and camp provides that for kids of this generation. So they get a chance to play and be outdoors and be in nature and make forts and do things that they often don't have a chance to do in their regular lives. And so I think that's another really important aspect of it. Michael Thompson talks about how the dirt and adventure of camp is just such a great part of the experience. A quote from a camper is, "I have so many fond memories of camp that I can't choose a particular one. However, some of my favorite memories include sleeping under the stars, doing fun activities, and spending time with friends." So I think those, just being outdoors and in nature is just a powerful experience for kids and so fun for them. Number 8 benefit of camp is for kids. For most of them, it's really their vacation for the year. They get a chance to relax and not feel the pressures that they might feel when they're at school or doing sports or other things like that. So it's really nice for them to get a break from all of those pressures, even the social pressures online and that kind of thing. And many kids just feel like they get to just take a deep breath and relax and just chill and just feel so much calmer than they are when they're in the midst of a really busy life and lots of things on their schedule. Number 9, I've mentioned this in other ones because it relates to many of the other benefits, but number 9, one of the big benefits is getting unplugged. And I've written a lot about this because I think that now summer camps that don't allow any kind of technology or screens are pretty much the only place that our kids will ever experience being disconnected from screens for any, longish period of time. And boy, they really detox during that time at camp. And I've had so many kids tell me that they feel really good being off their screens. And I know it's hard for them to sustain that after they get home, but it's really a great experience for them to see how good it can feel to just be with people and be outside and not be worrying about the distraction of things that are going on online. So I think that that is probably one of my favorite things about camp. And In yesteryear, when people went to camp, before there were cell phones and all of this, kids still had a fabulous time and a fabulous experience at camp, being outdoors and being with their friends. But now it's even more magical for them because it's this unique experience for them where it's the first time that they're both disconnected from their screens and not right with their parents. So it's just a huge boost to them to feel that they can be successful without those things. And then my final reason that I'm going to cover today, number 10, is kids at camp. One of the biggest benefits is that they get better at both making and keeping friends. This is something that I've been speaking about and writing about a lot in recent years because it was also part of my research that I did. Basically, all of the research has shown that the best key to well-being for any of us is our social connections. So it's our friendships and our connections with other people that really make a happy life. So, as adults, we spend a lot of time thinking about our kids' academics and their sports and, where they're going to go to college. When it turns out we should be thinking a lot more about how they're doing with their friendships and their relationships with us and their siblings, because that's going to predict their well-being a lot more. And it really makes a lot of sense when you think about people you like to work with or people you want to be friends with. There's, you're going to be looking for the good friend, and the people who are good, have good social skills, do well in all other areas of life. So that skill, that becoming better at making and keeping friends, and that bonding and the friendships that happen at camp just are really, they're different from what kids experience at school because of the intensity, because they're living together and they're together so much of the time, and they don't have the distraction of the screens. Many kids say that their camp friends, even though they only spend a couple weeks with them, are their best friends in the world. And even a lot of adults will reflect on their summer camp friendships from their childhood and say that their camp friends are still their best friends. So it's a really amazing benefit of camp, is just the friendships that kids develop, often with kids who are from different areas or different places, older than them, younger than them. It's just a really great place to develop those kind of friendships. So I'm going to be continuing this series and answering questions that people have about summer camp and just different ideas about ways to decide if your child is ready for camp, what age is good for camp, lots of other things I'll be continuing on this series. But I do have a download that's my Ready for Camp checklist. It's a free download, and I put a link in the title, but I'll also put a link in the comments. But if you'd like to just kind of look through a list of different things to consider when you're deciding whether your child is ready for an overnight camp experience, I highly recommend just checking out that list and seeing where you both are, whether you're ready for that experience of your child being away from you and whether your child is ready for the experience. But I do know that from parents who have sent their kids to camp, they've seen the benefits firsthand. And I really recommend you talk to other experienced parents if you're skeptical or you're not sure if it's going to be a good experience for your child. So many kids benefit from the experience, and they don't need to be outgoing or athletic or anything in particular to be able to be successful and reap the benefits of summer camp. In fact, I've always found that it is those kids who maybe aren't as traditionally or don't fit the mold quite as much of success back at home who really thrive at camp. Kids who are kind of well-adjusted and outgoing and are great everywhere, but it's those kids who tend to be a little more shy or not as interested in certain things that really can find their spot at camp and really thrive there. So I hope this has been helpful, and I'd love to hear any questions that you have about summer camp. You can send me an email at audrey@sunshine-parenting.com, or you can comment right here and ask your question. And I'd love to, just as I go on with this series of Ask Me Anything About Summer Camp, I'd love to cover whatever questions that you might have. I also recently put up a post, and I'll link to it in the comments, but it's 100 Questions About Summer Camp. And it's a lot of information about common, frequently asked questions that parents have about summer camp experiences. So I hope you find that helpful. And I'd love to hear your questions and anything else that I can help you with as you think about summer camp for your child. So thanks for listening, and I'll be back with another Ask Me Anything About Summer Camp next week. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the podcast. I have many resources for parents thinking about summer camp on my website at sunshine-parenting.com. If you're not sure if you or your child are ready for camp, you can download my free Ready for Camp checklist on my website. I'll also include a link in the show notes for this episode, which is episode 74. I'll end this episode with one of my favorite quotes from a first-time camp parent. My shy, quiet 9-year-old went to camp not knowing a soul. 2 weeks later, she came home transformed. She blossomed. She made friends, learned a multitude of activities, felt safe, loved, confident, and happy. Really, really happy. As hard as it was on me, it was all worth it for her. It was the single best thing I have ever done for her.
This podcast is a proud member of Parents on Demand, a network of high-quality shows for families just like yours. Download our free network app on Apple and Android and listen to your favorite episodes on the go.